This is a subscriber's build. This is my cousin's build, and this is my build. Back in February, I tasked one of my subscribers, my cousin, and myself with building a cottage with an underground house in Bloxburg. It's been a few months, we're all done with our builds, and so today we're going to be touring each of our cottages and underground houses. The first plot that we're going to be touring is my cousin Crafty's. Okay, so walking up, it looks like we have this forest here, and then we have the cottage, which is kind of hidden in the forest, which I really like. And then heading inside, here's the living room. Ooh, this is very nice. I like all the different colors. Like, they're not colors I usually see put together or colors I usually see in a Bloxburg build in general. So we have the living room here with the fireplace. I like the layout here, and even like custom logs over here. And then we have a bay window here, which is always nice, and some shelving on top, which is really cool. And then it looks like we have the kitchen. I like this dining table here. This is kind of cool. It almost looks like as if it folds out from the wall. That's very nice, and I see we have jams and jellies, which I always like to see people decorating with. We even have some honey over here. And then moving on, we have the bathroom. Very nice, definitely getting like an aesthetic cottage vibe. And then we have the bathtub. Very nice. And then we have the bedroom. I like the use of the star pillows too. Like, I don't really know I've ever really used the star pillows, but it's fun to see those being put to use. And it looks really good as well. I also like all of the stuff on the walls. Like, we have all the posters and these banners here, and even some fairy lights. And I like the shelving above this bed here. This is cool. And then we have a beautiful view outside the windows. Anyone notice anything weird? Everything looks fine to me. Oh, wait. Oh, it's a fake closet. That is so cool. I thought that was actually a real closet. And then if we walk behind the image, there is a little hatch. I still need to use those. I've never used those before, but that's very cool. And then we have the underground house. That is awesome. We have like a little library here. Secret number 1. So I'm guessing there is another door here that leads to another part of the underground house. I don't think it's a bookshelf door though, because all these bookshelves are too big. They're not the skinny 1-block bookshelves. They're all like wide bookshelves. So I wonder if there's like a door along the wall here. We have a mouse hole. That's fun. Wait a second. I see it right here. I see the outline of the door in the wall. Oh, yep, sure enough. I like all of the secret doors and like trying to find them. I didn't even think of doing that. That's so much fun. And then we have this like underground pool area. I like it. Very cool. And I also like how it's not like straight walls up to the ceiling, but how there's all of these basic shapes that kind of make it a little bit more round. And then Crafty said the next ones are easier from another entrance, so we can head back up for now. This closet is still awesome though. I totally thought that was a real closet. I love that. I'm gonna have to try that sometime. So now we're heading through the forest. I like this. I like how it's like hidden in a forest. It's really cool. Ooh, we have a picnic area. That's awesome. I should have added a picnic area. That's a really good idea. And then on the back of the house, we have this like campfire area with some outdoor seating. It's a very nice place to lounge and relax. I also like the mountains in the background. And it looks like there's even a cave in there. And then over to this side, we have a lake. Very nice. And we can go swimming in the lake. I like the diving board too. That's very fun. One thing I love about Bloxburg, because diving into a lake off of a dive board is not realistic, but in Bloxburg, who cares? We have some clothes on the hangers. Very nice. I like the type of spring cottage Crafty went for. Very different from mine, and I'm also very excited to see what type Ming did. I'm curious how different all of our cottages will be. Then through the tunnel, we have this little area over here with some swings. Very nice. Again, I love all of these like little hidden areas in the forest. It's so much fun. It definitely helps to feel like you're not in Bloxburg, and it also helps to make the plot feel a whole lot bigger than it is. And then we can go up the ladder, and we have a little painting area and a telescope. This is actually a really nice spot. And then heading back down the ladder and back through the tunnel, there's another path to take. Ooh, it looks like we have to cross the river. I like all the golden lampposts too. I feel like that elevates it a little bit. Oh, this is really nice. The gazebo. This is a very nice spot. And then over here, ooh, we have a garden. Oh, this is fun. It feels very elegant. I like this thing in the middle too with all the lights. And then we have like all the flower beds and bushes around it, kind of like making a circle, and then a fountain in the middle. And I like the detail too of like having the stool here and the bucket to like pick the apples. And then we have all sorts of fruits around. We have carrots, pineapples, onions. Over here we have pumpkins, tomatoes, watermelons. And then here we have like this thing with a bunch of the insect hotels, so we can see butterflies. That's very cool. Oh, and I like the colors of these flowers too. Now it's time for the secrets. Very exciting. We missed a hatch earlier. Okay, it's time to go hunt for a secret hatch. It's all the way over here back at the picnic area. Look around. I'm trying to look at the ground and see if I can see the outline again, just like it did in the wall for the other secret door. Oh, what's over here? Oh, I think Ming found it. Yep, there it is. Heading down inside. Some more hallways. Oh, and we have another room. room. This is very cool. Of course, have to play the piano when I see one. Secret number 3, what else can you find? Oh, it looks like there's another secret. I really do like the aesthetic that Crafty went for here. Very different than anything I would ever build, and so it's so fun to see like how different people can create different things. Is this a secret bookshelf door? I think it is. Yes, it is a secret bookshelf door. I was gonna say it's slightly back. You can tell when there's secret bookshelf doors because they don't come quite as far out from the wall, so they're pushed back just a tiny bit. Let's see what's behind this door. Oh, it looks like this is the very first secret room that we came into. There's more back in here. Oh wait, here's another one. Yep, you can see up there. It's slightly pushed back. Oh, an office. I like the green in the wood. Very nice. Oh, and all these shelves are cool. And of course, have to display all of the trophies. Yeah, I like these square shelves. Those are very cool. And of course, lots of plants. It looks like there's one more secret to go. Oh wait, is this it? I can kind of see the outline. It looks like that might be the door. Oh yeah, sure enough. I like how there's more and more rooms. Like when you think you're done, you keep finding more rooms. And in here we have a bedroom. These are very fun colors. This reminds me of like a watermelon. And I like all of the paintings on the wall as well. This is very nice. And that's all the secrets. Thanks for touring. Well, that was Crafty's spring cottage and underground house. She did an amazing job, and now it's time for the next one. Time for Ming's spring cottage and underground house, and I'm prepared to be blown away because I've seen some of her builds before, and she goes crazy with the basic shapes in creating things, and the detail always blows my mind. So without further ado, Ming, take it away. Welcome to Robert the Rabbit Wonderland. To start off, a gazebo. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, the first thing we start off with is already completely made out of basic shapes. Even the chairs, the top of it is custom made. It looks like it's the metal stool, and then a custom made top to the chairs. That is super cool, and I love these stepping stones too. Oh, and it looks like we have like a rabbit hole here maybe, and then like some Easter eggs. Oh my goodness, and look at the lamp post. Even those are custom. They have like this really cool design. And I love the plants here in the garden bed, and using the trees as bushes is so smart. It looks amazing. We even have some custom mushrooms, like some life-size jumbo ones. And then over here we have Robert the Rabbit. He says, welcome. This is awesome. I love that Bloxburg added spheres recently because it allows you to make so many cool things, especially animals. So very happy that they finally added that. Oh, and I like the little flower on his head too. Oh, and he's even holding a little Easter basket here with some Easter eggs. And I like the use of the grass as kind of like the paper shreddings, I guess you would call. That's typically inside Easter baskets. And then walking up to the cottage, this looks absolutely amazing. I love these steps here. And then we have this, again, everything here is going to be custom made pretty much. We have this railing, and then this is Robert's home. Oh wait, look at that. There's a, wait, is that a glitched butterfly or is that a decal? Oh wait, that's totally a decal butterfly. I thought that was like an actual butterfly that was like stuck or something for a moment. That looks so real. That's awesome. And then heading inside the house, there's so much detail everywhere. Like even these mats here, the welcome mats, and even like the custom shoes is so cool. And I love the circle windows. And look at the lights. She colored them the same color as the mushrooms, so they're like mushroom lights. And then we have the dining table. This is very nice. Oh, and I totally missed at the entrance. We have this whole like custom cabinet up here. I love the shape of these handles. That is so cool. And then we have the living room. I love this mat with like the teacups and tea kettle. That's so nice. Ooh, and this here too with the book, like the stand for the book, is just so nice. And even the detail here for the TV stand, how it's like rounded at the edges. I absolutely love it. Looks very good. It's extremely impressive, especially just the fact that like the patience that she must have to do this, because I get very tired of using basic shapes pretty quickly. So just like the amount of time and effort it took to custom make everything here is just insane to me. We have this custom ladder shelf here too, which is really cool. And I just love seeing like the different shapes too. Like randomly using this mesh wire board here and several places against the wall and putting stuff on it and putting it next to things. Like it's just something I would never do. And that's so fun to always see that and get inspiration from it. And it makes me want to try to do things like it. And then we have the kitchen, which I absolutely love. I love this custom fridge here. And then we have the stove with a pot, and it even has like steam coming out of it. And I love the display and the strawberry cake that's here. And then this custom counter as well. I love the design of that. That is awesome. And then over here, we actually have a custom knife that's like cutting. I don't know what exactly it's cutting, but that is awesome. I love how it's like set out like it's being used. It's not like set up for staging as much as it's like somebody's living in the house. And then we have the sink here too with a sponge floating in the water. That's awesome. And then another circle window with the window actually propped open. And then back towards the front, we have this like kind of storage thing here, which is very fun. Again, something I wouldn't necessarily think of doing something like this, and I absolutely love it. And then it looks like we head downstairs. Oh, and it looks like there's Robert at his computer. That is awesome. Ooh, I love the custom keyboard and the custom computer screen. And we even have like a little mushroom growing here. This is so good. I don't even know what to say. It just blows my mind. And then we have this bed over here, which looks so cozy. I love the design of this. And even just these arched insets in the wall. That's so nice. And I love how it's underneath the stairs too. And then over here we have a bathroom, which like everything else just looks amazing. I love this like divider here too, that divides the bathtub for the rest of the bathroom. And then this like little shelf on here too is nice. This is very, very cool. She said that's all for the inside. Now we move on to the outside. So we're now heading to the backyard. Oh wow, this is amazing. I love this here. I love the roundedness of the cottage too. Like that is so cool. And we even have this little like tower on the side. It reminds me very much of like an old cottage, kind of a little bit medieval and just fantasy. Very much fantasy, which I really like. And then we have this clothes rack with like custom clothes that has water dripping. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome. And then we have a picnic table over here, which if I lived here, I would be eating at all the time. And if we look to our side, we can see a cave. Oh, that's cool. Oh my goodness, we have fireflies. That's actually awesome. They're custom-made fireflies that are made out of basic shapes. And then we even have some light boxes floating around to give like the light of the fireflies. That is super creative, and I love the vines hanging over the cave too. Oh, and we have a custom flower over here with a butterfly on it, and another rabbit hole with some Easter eggs. Oh, and I didn't even realize she used the like leaf tray that we have as a decoration item for the leaves of the flower. That is very creative. I probably would have tried to make out of basic shapes, but of course use the leaf trays. That's genius. And then we have a custom fountain, which looks very nice. And then she also made a background for the plot, which is actually really cool. We have some like stars in the sky and some hot air balloons. And then this like sun over here, which is actually glowing. And then of course a bunch of clouds and even some birds. It definitely helps when you're on the plot to feel like you are not in Bloxburg. And then over here, we looks like we have a little lounging area. That's one thing I love about both Ming and Crafty's builds, is that there was all these little areas all around to like hang out and chill. My build definitely does not have that. I also like all the Easter eggs hidden around and all the different colors, and also the mix of decal trees and in-game trees. Like it definitely improves the landscape, but it's also not like super noticeable. From just looking around, like you don't even realize there's decal trees everywhere. And then over here we have a bench, and she said this is Robert's favorite seating area. We can get a picture with Robert. This is a very nice seating area, and you get a nice view of this like stream over here, which, oh my goodness, we have ducks and fish. What? That's crazy. We have some ducks swimming in the stream, and then we even have some fish underwater. And I like how the ground has all of these like spheres. It makes it look a lot more like hilly and realistic. That is awesome. And then even the cubes on the side, that gives it kind of like that rocky look instead of it just being like flat. This is absolutely incredible. My favorite part are definitely the animals. I love all the animals around. I also love that all the animals have names. And then we have this beautiful custom bridge that leads over to another fun spot with a custom carriage. What? That is crazy. I want one of those on my plot. Wow, that is so cool. And it's completely rounded too. It's like in an egg shape. I don't even know what to say. This build is just absolutely insane. It's incredible. And then even on the other side over here, we have another seating area that we can view the entire plot. That looks just amazing. And I love the detail for the landscape. This must have taken forever, especially because like the entire plot is used up and the entire plot is outside pretty much. Like we have this one small house here, but it's even a bunch of grass and stuff on top. So like the amount of time it must take to place all these plants, I don't even know how long, because I spent forever on my landscaping and it is absolutely nothing compared to this. And again, I absolutely love the trees. I definitely have to do that sometime. Use trees as bushes because it looks amazing. There's a few more things still to look at. If we head up here, we have a fake window. That looks very nice. We also have a chimney over here, which is cool. And then we can walk on top of the house. I like how the cottage is hidden in the hills, and like the grass roof just totally makes it look like it blends into the environment. And if you look up, you can see some hot air balloons. Oh yeah, look at that. We have actual hot air balloons, not just on the backdrop, but like floating in the sky. That is so cool. And that's all I got. Well, that was absolutely amazing. It just blows my mind how people are able to do this. And this build has inspired me to play around with some things, like definitely putting trees in the ground and making them look as bushes, and trying to make animals. I want to try to make more custom animals. That sounds like a lot of fun. But thank you for taking us on a tour of your incredible build, and now it's time for the next one. So now we're at the final spring cottage and underground house, which is mine. So starting out here, we have the driveway with a little address here, which is actually the date that I am recording this video. It's the same day that I finished the build. So I can always just kind of look back and remember the day that I finished this build. But if we go ahead and head on up the driveway and follow the driveway along to the spring cottage, we can go ahead and enter from the front door. Here we have the entryway, just a place to hang up your coat and take off your shoes. Looking at the ceiling, yeah, that was very painful and probably the most time-consuming part of this build, and you will see a lot of blue in this house. I definitely incorporated a lot of dark blue. But then if we leave the entryway, we'll go ahead and head into this little living room here. The style of my cottage is definitely very different than Crafty and Ming, so I definitely went for a lot more of a modern cottage and underground house. Here we have a custom bay window. This man really likes this blue. I do like my blue, and this is definitely not the last of it. Normally mine have these colors too. Yes, Crafty usually goes for a lot of blue too. But I found that when I was struggling to color something, it was almost always just easy to go straight for my favorite color. And then here we have the dining room, which I am super happy with how this like curved glass thing turned out. I don't even know what you call it. Oh my goodness, the bench is the wrong way. Do not mind that. That was a mistake. At least this bench is right over here. Yes, with a beautiful view of the farm. And then here we have the kitchen. I definitely went for some brighter colors, which I haven't really done before, but I actually really like how they go together. The like blue and turquoise. I like the pop of color that it adds. The counter, yeah, for the counter, I actually just took one of the in-game counters, which is the white part, and then just took some basic shapes around it to kind of give it that wood like outline. I think it turned out pretty nice. And then moving on into here, we have a sunroom, just a place to kind of hang out and talk. And then of course we have a piano. Yes, we have to have our piano. And then moving on out of the sunroom, if we head over to the stairs, and then if we head up the stairs, we head to the bedroom, which is really more of like a loft bedroom. And of course, lots more blue. Yeah, I'd be very happy if this was my room. And then if we head back down the stairs, and we'll go ahead and go outside, we have this back patio here. And then if we exit through the gate, we have the garden and greenhouse. Oh, and also a pond over here. And the pond also has 3 animals: frogs, fish, and snails. They do not have names like Ming's though. I did not think about that. So here we have a couple frogs, and then these snails are over here. Some are out of their shells, some are in their shells, and then we also have like some slugs that don't have shells. And then there's also some snails over here. And then inside the pond, there are a bunch of fish. The landscaping is so cool. Thank you. It was kind of painful. It took a very long time. It's made out of mansard roofs, and thankfully I only had, I think, 1 roof doing this entire thing that got deleted when I rejoined the game, because usually I have a lot more than that. I wanted to do more of this hill too, like over here, but because of the underground house, the roof has to go past the wall in order to get this shape. So unfortunately, because there was stuff behind the wall, it just didn't work out like I hoped. But then over here we have the garden with all of our plants, and then the greenhouse. You did my greenhouse fantasy justice. Well, I'm glad. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I do really like it. Some of it was just an accident too. Like this trim here, I just had extra space when I was making the windows, and I did not mean to have that, but it actually looks really nice. And then we have some beehives so we can get our honey. And then here we just have a swing set and trampoline, nothing special. And then here we have the garage. I love this car so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. And then this station is meant to be like they're kind of working on the golf cart. So like it has the paint, like they painted the golf cart, and then like a gas can. And then just your normal storage in the garage. And then over here, I also made it so like the sink is broken and being worked on. But then now it's time to head to the underground house. So if we head back towards the front and go down these stairs, there's this pathway that leads over here to the entrance to the underground house, which I kind of made a mistake after planning it. Kind of forgot it was supposed to be an underground house, and I made it more of a fun basement. And then after I was too far in, I realized that it doesn't really have the stuff to make it a house. But at least you have the spring cottage up here. It's more of like a guest house and like a hangout area. But if we head on inside, here is the living room, of course with another piano. Can't have too many pianos. We also have a sauna in the living room, because why not? I tried going for a very luxurious feel down here, very modern. And then if we exit the living room, here we have all the fun snacks and treats, like slushies, soda fountain, chocolate fountain, all of the fun treats you could want. And then if we open up this door in here, we have an at-home movie theater. And then we also have a popcorn machine in here, and an ice cream machine, just because I couldn't fit it out here anywhere. You can watch movies here, which is really nice. And you can also do karaoke. Oh, and then we also have this window here that opens up to the the like snack kitchen, so you can like hand snacks over to anybody in there if you wanted. Not that it really matters because you can just go through the door literally right here, but I just added it. It filled up the wall and it's kind of cool. Here I have a chocolate covered marshmallow for you. Enjoy. And then I have a slushie for you. Now moving on to the next room, we have a bathroom in here. It's a very small half bath, but just so that you don't have to go all the way up to the spring cottage to use the bathroom. Oh, and don't mind this picture. I randomly found it when I was searching for decals. I looked up elephant and this elephant seal came up and I thought it was hilarious, so I just kept it. But then at the end of the hall here, we have some bookshelves and then a door here that leads to the laundry room. Nothing crazy. And then if we go back down the hall, we have just some storage here, just like some cardboard boxes and stuff. It was more of I had some extra space that I wanted to get rid of, so I didn't actually plan for it. It just kind of came about. And then here we have a bedroom, which is definitely my favorite bedroom I probably ever made. I absolutely love this room. It's got to be my favorite in the house. This is the guest bedroom, and for some reason, I don't know, but this bed just looks like super comfortable and super soft. I don't know why, but I just love how this bed looks, and I love how it's raised up too. Like you have this lower level and then you go up here. And then we also have blinds, of course, for privacy. And then one of the coolest parts of this room is if you go over and press the remote, you know how like some rooms, some like fancy high-tech modern rooms have like TVs that like lower from the ceiling or like come up out of a cabinet? Bloxburg doesn't have that, but I tried to recreate it with the, I forget what it's called, but it's the TV that like projects a screen onto a wall. So if I press turn on using the remote, the TV pops up right here. So I thought that was kind of cool. You can just turn on and off. It does like raise instantly, but it's the best I could do to mimic it. And then in here we have the closet, which is also on 2 layers. And then in here we have the guest bathroom. A very different feel, very different colors. And then going out here we have the pool. Yes, it is round. I kind of spent way too long on this pool, but I did manage to get it round. We have LED lights, and then even inside it curves, so it goes from like a deep end and then curves up to a shallow end. And then we even have these custom steps here with like this custom railing. And then we have pivoting doors that we can exit through. We have a water slide over here. And then this is just the end of the pool, and then these stairs lead back up to the greenhouse. Of course, more dark blue. Can never have enough. Oh, and then the ceiling is also like part sunroof or part glass, which is also kind of nice. So we have one more room, and it's kind of hidden. Not really. You guys can go ahead and look for it. Oh, Crafty found it. It does have the biggest window on the plot. One of the reasons why it's not really hidden. Well, Crafty found it. It is this, the bookshelf door. And if you head inside, we have an office. Very like jungle theme. And yeah, you can totally see into the walk-in closet in the guest bedroom, which now that I realize that's a guest bedroom, that probably wasn't the best idea. But there's blinds, you know, it's fine. You could just close it off. And yes, there's the elephant plushie I added last minute. And it does have the biggest window of the house. I like how like big this area is because it lowers down. I tried doing a lot of like different layers in the house, and I really like with how that turned out. I'm definitely going to do a lot more of that. But that is it, obviously, besides the outside, but the outside is nothing special. It's just a bunch of open area with some trees. Well, that was me touring 3 cottages with underground houses. These builds were insane. They're absolutely incredible. I want to give a huge thank you to Ming and Crafty for being patient with me as I put this video together and for giving me lots of extra time to make my build the best it could be. Thank you so much for joining me in this build challenge, and I can't wait to see what both of you build next. Let me know whose build was your favorite down in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed, thumbs up the video, consider subscribing, and have a wonderful rest of your day.